E36 unfiltered, aka the unfiltered room with Mr. E. Gray. Introducing all the latest names and the latest news. Hottest take, he the new face, yeah, the new sound, but keep it old school. And raw interviews from local athletes, and even digging off and entertainment too. Own style, he got his own lane, it's unfiltered out, we keep it raw, man. New content to keep the people ready. E36, no Jerome Betty's real dialogue and real conversations. You keep it real, but we real. Mr. E. Gray in the building. E36 unfiltered.
All right, welcome live, everybody. How you doing? It's your boy E. Gray for the E36 Unfiltered Room. As you guys can see behind my head, got a little different setup here. Hope you guys like it and enjoy it. Still making some new adjustments as we go on. Anyway, without further ado, guys, it's been a long-awaited guest. Yeah, long-awaited guest, man. We're trying to get us to get on the same schedule almost probably a year.
Yeah.
Things happen, pandemic, of course, everybody knows about that. And we didn't get a chance to get in live this time as far as being in the studio, but making it happen through the Zooms. Anyway, this man, guys, is a unbelievable, talented actor. He has been able to work with so many gifted people over his time. Oscar winners, Emmy winners, Golden Globe winners, likes of Martin Sheen, Robert Duvall, Bryan Cranston. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on the names. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go another name on here I like is like Bryan Cranston, Hunter Duan. Like I said, the man has been doing so much in his career in a short period of time. We're actually starting on Your Honor, which is a Showtime series. Also set to premiere on a new movie that's really gonna this outbreak movie we call it 12 Mighty Orphans. Also, he is a producer, or better yet, a creator of his own podcast, Once Upon a Time in Huntsville podcast. Likewise, his own acting Divine Legacy Conservatory Acting School with Princeton Drake. None other than my man, Sampley Barinaga. How you doing?
Hey, I like how you said he's a star in a short period of time. It hasn't felt like it in the majority of my life so far.
I know, right? Look, it's for them. It's gonna sound like that. For us, we know the journey is a lot longer. You know, or you have to live it. So, man, how's everything going, man?
Everything's, I'm like all those projects you just mentioned, they've been coming out recently. So I've been super blessed to be able to watch that and have people tell me that they've really enjoyed it. Even people I don't know have told me they've enjoyed it. So it's really cool to hear that. And then everything else in my life, like one of my favorite quotes from an Eagles song. Or actually, it's a Joe Walsh song, but one of the lines is sometimes I can't complain. No, sometimes I shouldn't complain, but I still do. I butchered that, but so yeah, I could complain, but I don't want to.
No, absolutely. Go ahead and go for it. Go ahead and go for it. But no, I feel you, man, on that. It's crazy, man. Like I said, how life kind of sets itself up where, like you said, from the outside looking in, it maybe been a overnight success for the movies. Now your stuff coming out back to back to back and things like that. But we know, being from the same acting school and going through that deal as a journey as an actor, it doesn't. Sometimes it can seem like the longest drawn out, never gonna happen type of situation. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's weird because sometimes it feels like an eternity. You're working towards something, and then sometimes like you just wake up one morning and so much is behind you. Like this film that I'd really like to talk a lot about because the trailer just dropped today, 12 Mighty Orphans, and the date just came out for it. It's going to be in theaters June 11th in Texas, LA, and New York, and then it will have a wide release on June 18th, which I believe is Father's Day weekend.
Oh man, so it's coming, like it's really around the corner.
It's gonna be here before you know it. The trailer dropped today, the poster came out. But like I was saying, like I shot that film 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, but it feels like yesterday. And some days I'm like, man, I wish I could be back on set with those guys. And then sometimes I'm like, I can't wait to see the thing. I wish it would hurry up. So
yes, Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about the butterflies, man, that you haven't knowing that your first major role in a motion major film is going to be hitting theaters worldwide, and it's based on such a profound backstory taking
Yeah.
place in 1940s in high school Texas.
Have you read the book before?
I haven't. I haven't
You
officially
should
read the
check it
book.
out. You being a football player, you gotta go see this movie. But you should
Oh,
also read the book
definitely.
by Jim Dent. Uh, is it all right if I kind of explain what the story is?
Absolutely. Yeah, halfway. Go ahead. Hey,
So
I can understand how excited you got to be because go trust me, have fun. I
yeah,
want to hold on. Am I the first one? I'm the first one you've been had an interview with since everything dropped, right?
yeah, correct, correct, dude. You're
Absolutely. Go
on it.
ahead.
The trailer came out today, and we're doing a podcast day on it. You're like beyond on it. Your scheduling is chef kiss. But I remember when I first auditioned for it. It was one of those that you kind of just gotta crank in real fast because it's like you get it and then it's due like in a couple hours.
Mm.
So I taped it real fast with my brother Jesse. So I really, whenever I got the role, I thanked him a bunch. But and then like months later, like I want to say 5 or 6 months later, I got a call back for it, and then that's when they kind of told me what the title was and that it's based off this book. And so on my way to Texas for the callback and for this like physical practice test where we we tackled each other and threw balls and caught balls.
Uh-huh.
I read the book all the way over there,
Oh.
and the book, man, like it was like one of those things where even if I wasn't auditioning for it, I would have read it. It's such an amazing story. So essentially, the movie it's Luke Wilson plays Coach Rusty Russell, and he plays it brilliantly. Like working with Luke, he's such an amazing, cool guy. Uh, super shy, which kind of caught
Really?
me off guard. But in a good way. Like once you get to know him, like he's such a really nice guy, and especially not only around like people that like are working with him, but just people that would come up and ask for pictures or whatever. But anyways, so he plays Coach Rusty Russell, and essentially Rusty Russell. This is during 1930s. He left his like pretty awesome job at this high school where he was like winning game after games, and he started to coach this orphanage. They kind of had a football team. They didn't have a football. They actually threw with a Clabber Girl can, like which was a can of powder, and they didn't have cleats or equipment, so they were out there barefoot, which was really fun. And
I bet.
when we did that in the film, because where we were running barefoot were a bunch of those. They in Texas call them like stickums, but I
Oh,
guess
yes.
here we would call them like briars
Sticker
things.
briars. We
So,
call sticker briars.
yeah.
Yes.
And those scenes, I bet when you watch the movie, if you look closely, you'll see like what as we take steps, just pain. But and then they fixed it the next day. They gave us protectives and stuff, which was really cool. But anyways, Rusty Russell, like he gave up essentially like almost his career to go teach these orphans, like not making any money. And they went from not having any gear to then playing in the state championship, which is pretty huge considering like it's Texas football. All those high schools were, I mean, some of those high school teams probably could beat some like really bad college teams. That's how good those high school teams were. And so the fact that this kind of like ragtag group of really skinny, really small orphans who really had nothing found the motivation to not only win a bunch of games, but they were winning games by 60, 70 points against these teams who would otherwise, just dominate all these other teams.
Yes.
And it's a really beautiful story. And that's kind of what the story is about, and about Luke Wilson's character, Rusty Russell, with the help of our assistant coach and medic, Martin Sheen, who's also an amazing man, kind of coach these orphans to success. So that's what the movie's about. So I'll stop talking now if you want to throw anything at me.
No. Definitely. I love it. So talk to me, like, let's talk about, I want to know about these personalities. I've seen a Martin Sheen. How was it first time coming on the scene? Did you know that they had already got cast, like Luke Wilson, Martin Sheen, Robert
Oh,
Duvall? Were they already cast ahead of time and you knew what you was walking into?
so I so after my first callback, I had another callback, chemistry callback, and then when I booked it, I went to Texas, and then I want to say we did a whole 2 weeks of football practice with this old NFL. I think he coached in the NFL, or maybe he played in the NFL. I'm getting mixed up, but great coach, Coach TJ, who taught us a lot about it. What was interesting about that is I was kind of going in the mind frame of like, oh, I've played football before. Like, I don't know how to do this, but he taught us how to play 1930s football, which is so much drastically different than what today is. Different stances, different like plays and stuff.
Yeah.
And like we actually like it was kind of like we were on a football team. We had to memorize plays. Because sometimes when we shot things, we'd be like, "All right, call this play," and like we would have to know how to run and execute it perfectly.
Yeah.
And then I want to say on our second to last day, we went and did a fitting for all our clothes. And then when you walk in, you see like all the headshots of all the people that have already been cast on this wall. And of course, Luke Wilson, all of us orphans were up there. I played Chicken, by the way. I forgot to say my
Yeah. I was thinking. I was to introduce that name.
my name is in the film. I'm based off of a real person. Of course, all of us are. My name is. I play the character of Clyde Teague Roberts, and his nickname is Chicken. We all the orphans have nicknames. Anyways, we all see our own headshots, and then like I saw Martin Sheen's, and then I saw Robert Duvall's, and then I saw Vanessa Shaw's, and then I was just like, oh my gosh. Like Martin Sheen.
That's when
like,
you knew it was real.
I'm like such a film nerd though, because like as soon as I saw those, I formulated these questions I was gonna ask these people. Like Martin Sheen, like is one of my favorite actors of all time. He did this great film called Badlands with one of my favorite directors of all time called his name's Terrence Malick. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to ask him about all this stuff. And then I saw Robert Duvall, and instantly I thought Apocalypse Now, Godfather's, Tender Mercies, Lonesome Dove, Secondhand Lines. And then I saw Vanessa Shaw, and she actually worked with Stanley Kubrick in the film Eyes Wide Shut. She was the only one I didn't get to ask because I never thought there was an appropriate time to ask her what it was like to work with Kubrick.
Wait. So you actually got the chance to ask these guys the question that you was talking about?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
How did that go?
Oh, I mean, it's unbelievable. Like I said, like Luke and Martin are just such great guys. I mean, they never felt like we were like hanging out with celebrities. It just felt like we were hanging out with like like an uncle or like a really cool, just like friend's dad or something. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I asked. Luke was really cool. We actually have a scene where it's just me and him in the film one-on-one. So I remember running lines with him for that scene, and then we also talked. We actually talked a little bit about The Shining because I had just watched it at the hotel, so we talked a little bit about that.
Luke or Martin?
Luke Wilson, and then Martin Sheen, like, dude, he just like. I talked his ear off, and like honestly, it seemed like he was really happy that I did because like he was really happy just to talk about anything and everything. I asked him about Terrence Malick and what was it like working with Francis Ford Coppola or Martin Scorsese in The Departed or Leonardo DiCaprio. And dude, like he during that whole time. So in the film, he kind of plays our father figure, and maybe it was just him as an actor saying, I need to really grow close with these boys, or maybe it's just that Martin Sheen's just a really cool guy. But he really talked to each one of us as special people. And whenever I brought up Badlands, which is a movie starring him and Sissy Spacek, in the movie, he calls Sissy Spacek Red the whole time. And so during the whole course of filming, he would call me Red because that's the first thing I asked him, which I thought was like so cool. Every time he called me Red, I was like, man, he's like referencing the movie.
Y'all have a special connection going on.
Yeah. And then he had that with every single one of us, and as did Luke. And they really aren't celebrities anymore in my mind. They're just really, really awesome, just men that taught me a lot, on that film set. And also the guys, the other orphans that I got, the other actors who play the orphans that I got to work with.
Can I
Like,
talk about that? I have to kind of interject real quick. I've seen this. You have had a few of them on your show, so it seems like you guys have maintained a pretty good relationship. It actually has built even a more, probably even a closer relationship since the film wrapped in 2019. So to kind of talk about that, and how did that you guys connect on that scene from that movie like that
yeah,
off camera?
when I went for the chemistry callback, there were some really, really good actors that didn't book it, didn't book any of the roles. But the only reason they didn't is because the guys that did, we instantly just clicked.
Mm.
And like we have a group chat that we text in like almost every single day. And we just really all love each other. We're all really brothers. And we really did spend 24 hours a day like with each other for like 2.5 months. Um, and like on the weekends we would go karting or go play pool or go see movies together or be in each other's hotel rooms playing video games, or
Yes.
like we ate almost every single meal together. So even though I've only known them for about 2 years or less than 2 years now, I feel like I've known a lot of those guys, all of those guys, for my whole life. Like me and Manuel the other day, who plays Carlos in the film. We play Madden like all the time together. Give each
Nice.
other we give each other some flack. Like I love playing with him because sometimes I'll whoop his butt and sometimes he'll whoop mine.
I
But
got you.
and then I'm actually shooting this pilot next month that I'm really excited about. Something I wrote and something I'm directing. I'm teaming up with Cinepros, who's Alex Gibson and RJ Ortez, and I
So
had a rule. One of the rules is to play my brother, and I was like, I was like, oh, Woodrow Luttrell asked to play that, and he plays Leon Pickett.
Leon, he plays Leon,
Leon
right?
Pickett
Yes.
in the movie, and yeah, all these guys I want to work with for the rest of my life. You know,
Okay, pretty cool, man. So talk to me about that.
and Jake Austin Walker and Jacob Laughlin and Levi Dillon and Austin and Michael, and I gotta say everyone's name, and Bailey and Preston. I'm probably and Tyler. They're all so talented. I love all of them. If they listen to this, they know that I mean it. I think.
Okay, cool. Now, I like that. So we're gonna tap into your other films you're talking about, but I also was able to find. Now, have you got a chance to talk to real quick? Have you got a chance to talk to some of the guys since the trailer been released today? I know it just happened today, but were you able to kind of talk to some of them, like, hey, you see the trailer, or what you think about it,
Yeah.
yada yada yada?
Before this, we're doing this interview. Bailey actually called me. Baby Roberts, an
Okay.
amazing actor, by the way. We were just talking. We were like congratulating each other and just saying like how we can't wait to see each other, like COVID or not. Like as soon as we see each other, we're all giving each other hugs, just because we've missed them. And then actually, like 2 weeks ago, I went and saw Jacob Laughlin in New Orleans. We hung out for a couple days.
Nice. Was he doing some work
Uh,
out there or something, or what?
yeah, he's shooting a movie over there, and I go to New Orleans all the time for work. So I was like, that drives nothing to me, and we got to hang out. So yeah, we us guys, we communicate all the time. I'm sure my group message is going off right now. Somebody's probably talking in it. Yeah, we talk all the time.
Okay, so check this out. What we're gonna try to do? We're gonna try to go ahead and pull up. Since you said talking about the trailer, we guys should have a chance to look at the trailer on here. Just follow
Yeah.
where I can pull it. It's gonna be my first time seeing it as well, so I'm excited to see what it looks
Cool.
like. So let's sit back and relax and see, can I get this thing right? All right. So what we're gonna
Yeah.
do.
I've watched it like 80 times, so I
So
probably could like lip sync to it.
okay, so did you get a chance to get a clip in there?
You can see the back of my head on one part. Listen, I was actually really, really happy with the trailer because it really doesn't show anything. It just kind of gives you a hint of what the movie is about, but
Yeah.
it doesn't spoil some of my favorite scenes.
spoiler. Okay, I got you. All right. So give me just a few moments. We can try to get this pulled up and see what
So
happens.
it's a really great trailer. Oh, also Wayne Knight and Ron White, and there's a bunch. Oh, Lane Garrison, they're amazing actors. And Lane actually wrote it, and Ty Roberts, my director, fantastic. And David McFarlane shot the movie. It looks like one of the best DPs I've ever worked with. And everyone on the project absolutely crushed it. Like if you came there day 2 and saw how much everyone had chemistry with each other, you thought we'd worked together for like years and years and years together. I'll shut up now so we can watch the show.
All right, man. Without further ado, we're gonna go bring this movie up. A man, Sampley Barinaga, 12 Mighty Orphans, starring Luke Wilson, Robert Duvall. What's the last one? Martin Sheen.
Yeah, Martin Sheen.
Yeah, Martin Sheen. So we got a lot of more going on here, but you guys check it out. This is the sneak peek of the trailer first here. Remember, you start here first on E36 on the 5th. Let's see what we got.
My name's Harvey Newell Russell. I'm the new math science teacher.
The football coach?
That's right.
We teach survival. If we don't, they'll never make it on the outside.
The thing about football is it teaches teamwork and discipline, and those are key elements to survival. The way I see it, you can either work the field or play the field.
Hell, sounds good to me. I'm in.
Might as well.
Okay. Ready, set, play!
This is going to be even more work than you imagine.
Today we're going up against a team that's won 2 state championships.
Stay down in the dirt where you belong, loser orphan.
That's a funny formation. It's your new offense. Line up a quarter yard directly behind AP for the snap.
What position does that make me, Coach?
We'll call you the quarterback. This is how we're gonna beat the bigger teams. We don't have the size, so we gotta utilize what we do have. Speed.
We finally got a team. Might as well call them the Mighty Mice.
Every second that they're on the field, we're losing money.
When are you gonna stand up for these children and do what's right?
Juanita, we have a chance to make a real difference here.
They're gonna want you to win. Everybody's gonna be behind the team with nothing. Just like them.
It's hard to believe when all you've known is hurt and loss. I look at you boys and I can honestly say I'm proud to be an orphan. And you'll feel the same way if you can believe in yourselves and believe in each other. 1, 2, 3, march!
Well, there it is, man. There it is. Nice, nice, nice. You guys see the trailer. Will be coming. I don't know exactly the exact date. We expect it in June 18th, but those come out.
Yeah, it is for a fact coming out June 11th. Which is actually the day I'm getting married. But June 11th, it comes out New York, all of LA, Los Angeles, and then all of Texas. And then June 18th, it comes out across the country.
Okay, man. That's what's up. So are you guys going to have in-person premiere to go see it in LA and all that stuff, or beforehand by any announcement?
Yeah, we're gonna have a premiere in Texas together beforehand, so I'm really excited to see the film on the big screen. And just honestly, I'm really excited just to see just everybody again, just be able to hug them and stuff, and talk to them face to face. But I'm really excited to see the film because making it. When I read the script the first time, I was like, man, this might be one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And after we finished it, it most certainly is. I can't wait to see just the entire thing. And, I'm really excited to see how Chicken plays on the big screen, because it's honestly something I've never really done before. I did an accent. I walk a certain way. I look a certain way. My whole life I've pretty much played characters that are very similar to me. And Chicken is he's not like I mean, inside, of course, there's things that you have to find to be able to attach to the character.
Yes.
But outwardly, like I have different hair. I actually had it split down the middle. I look a certain way. I walk a certain way. And Chicken's not the smartest, bless his heart. So, but it was really fun to play that character. It really did change my life. That movie changed my life, and I hope it continues to for the better.
Yeah, I said absolutely, man. We're gonna believe that it will. We know that it
Yeah.
will. Now speaking of that, do you know are these characters are any of these characters still alive today? Were you guys able to interact with them or see
So
footage of them or what?
that is an amazing question. So we got to meet Rusty Russell's grandson because he
Okay.
died. He's passed. We met his grandson. He was really great. He was really cool. I got to ask him about everyone involved. And then Levi Dillon plays a character, and his nickname in the film is Fairbanks.
Okay.
He's nicknamed after the famous actor who played Zorro, Douglas Fairbanks, but we call him Fairbanks. That's his nickname. It's funny enough. That was the one I auditioned for originally, and then Chicken came much later, where they were like, "Yeah, we don't see you as him," and I was like, "Neither do I, honestly." And they were like, "Try Chicken." And me and
Like,
Chicken clicked just like that because I was like, he's a goofball, and
yeah.
deep down inside, I'm a goofball. But we got to meet Douglas Fairbanks in the film. There's a character named Opal, and they're at the orphanage together, and they actually fell in love during that time period. And they got married, and they were married for a long time. And he passed, unfortunately, but Opal is still alive, and we got to meet her on set one day.
Nice, beautiful.
It was insane. Natasha Bassett plays Opal in the film. She did a great job of bringing her to life, and getting to meet the real Opal was kind of just like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. She actually saw all these things actually happen. It was really great. It was really great.
Okay, I like it. So let's talk about this, but I want to talk about the psyche aspect of being an actor and being able to, because when you play real life characters, there are some people somewhere who's like, Chicken didn't act like that, or man, that reminds me of Chicken. Oh my goodness, this and that. You never know who it may be, or is that somebody great, grandfather that's being portrayed,
Yeah.
and you want to do it so much justice. I'm remembering a lot of the actors. They're some of my favorite actors. Of course, Tom Hanks is one of my all-time greats.
Yeah.
But you got Denzel Washington, who did the embodiment of Hurricane, the boxer, and as well Malcolm X, and you got Jamie Foxx, who did Ray Lewis. I mean, not Ray Lewis. My God, Ray Charles. And so many
That would have been great
interactions.
if Ray Lewis, though.
I know, right? It would be hot.
That would be great.
And to be able to see all these characters come to life through these people, you can be like, okay, hold up, you know what? That he actually embodied him. So for you, what was the psyche that went into it? What were some of your things, some of your base points that they gave you to kind of make sure that you did it justice? Because and you also get a chance to go into the minds and the life of someone back in the 1940s, how they move, how they viewed the sport, and all these different things. So talk about that transformation to what it really felt like and what it was to embody a real life character for the first time in your life like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. My character was the only one they didn't really know a lot about.
Okay.
So he was because I actually asked Rusty Russell's grandson. I was like, because he was around all these people in real life, and I was like, well, what was Clyde like? What was Chicken like? And he was like, honestly, he didn't really talk a lot, and no one really knows what happened to him really after. And maybe because I heard they're gonna do like one of those things during the credits of the film where it kind of says like what the specific person went on to do.
Yeah.
And in the script, I didn't have one during the time because they honestly didn't know what he went and did, because he was kind of kept to himself, very mysterious guy. So maybe they discovered more. I did my own research and I found diddly squat. He's only mentioned in the book, I think 3 or 4 times. And it doesn't really say a lot about him there either. So honestly, I really worked with Ty and Lane. They wanted the character to walk and talk a specific way. So I had to really work on the accent. It was much more Southern Texas, and being around a lot of guys actually that booked the film that live lived in Texas.
Yes.
It's kind of easier for me. I based my accent a lot of off of a lot of people I met there, and kind of combined it and conformed it to how maybe chicken sound.
Cool.
And I'd walk and talk a different way, of course. So honestly, they kind of get me free range to that. I didn't have to play like this monumental, like, I wasn't going out there and playing like, Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin or something, where people would be, furious at me if I screwed up.
Yeah.
And I feel like this story, even though it is based on a bestseller, it's very much, I feel like maybe people outside of Texas will just watch and enjoy the performances for what they are. But I feel like it's the people that are in Texas that maybe will hopefully not be, or hopefully will be critical in a good way of everyone's performances.
Oh yeah,
I think
they're gonna love it, man.
An amazing job.
Yeah.
As does everyone else in the film. And I feel like also, I don't want to bore your audience too much, but kind of as like an actor, you kind of have to put yourself into a character. And since these people are based on real people, we're not going to get it perfect. Like I think Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali said it best when they did Green Book. They didn't need to sound or look exactly like their characters. Because Mahershala Ali's character in real life had the super high
pitched voice. Yeah, he was a little lower.
And he decided to make it just use his own voice, because he thought it would be too distracting for the audience, which I agree. So even though it doesn't sound exactly like the person or look, as long as the performance is great, I feel like that's what truly matters.
Yeah, a lot of times it's about being grounded. Just making sure that you make the character relatable, real, and grounded. Making those choices and sticking with it. Of course, we know we go back to our teaching, man. So that's definitely what it's about. So let me shift the kind of the little dynamics real quick. So you have another film that's actually a TV series that's actually was wrapped up now, but it premiered a couple of months back, starring Bryan Cranston, who plays Michael, which is the New Orleans judge, who will do whatever he can to protect his son. Then you got Hunter Duhan as playing as Adam. Of course, Hope Davis, which is playing Gina Baxter, which is the ruthless wife of the New Orleans mob boss. I mean, she goes all the way in. Anyway, of Your Honor. So let's talk about that, man. How'd you book that? I know you said you was down in New Orleans not too long ago, because you guys spent a lot of time there. That's where the film was filmed at, the series rather. How you land that spot, man? How was that process, man? How you enjoying being on your first major TV series?
Thank you, man. I'm really glad how it came out. Everyone that you just mentioned and everyone who you didn't mention gives a wonderful performance. So I remember actually where I was when my phone went off and I got a C-mail for that audition.
Hey, that C-mail, they don't know about that C-mail. That C-mail, when you see that C-mail, it's like, let's see what we got. Yeah,
but I remember opening it and looking at it and scrolling through, and I just saw the name Bryan Cranston, and it's crazy, man. Because I'm a very competitive person, but I don't feel like a lot of people would maybe pick that up. Maybe some of my close friends or family would, but I'm a very competitive person. So as soon as I saw that name, Bryan Cranston, I remember in that moment thinking, "Oh, this role's mine. Whatever it is, I'm booking it, and it's mine, and no one else is going to be allowed to take this from me." Because I grew up on Bryan Cranston, watching Seinfeld reruns with my dad. He plays the dentist in that. And also, of course, Malcolm in the, where he plays Hal, which I think is arguably the best dad on TV ever. And then, of course, what a lot of people know him from is Breaking Bad, where he plays Walter White, which is one of the most insanely well-written, made, acted TV shows of all time.
Yes.
So in that moment, I was like, "This role's mine." And I remember I had to leave, I want to say the next day, to go to New Orleans for a live audition. I could either tape or do a live audition, but I knew I had to book this role. I knew I had to do a live audition. So I went there. I actually have this really funny story, if you don't mind me telling it. But I get there, and It's an audition for Megan Lewis, and what the project she does is, quality.
Yeah. Oh yes.
So and she takes her job very seriously, which I respect. And so she kind of takes you up there and you walk through and you sit down and she calls you in one by one to tape your scene so she can send to the producers and the showrunner. And I usually like to go last unless she calls my name. And I remember getting in there and I was stretching and going through my, preparations, running over my lines in my mind. And this guy kind of like taps me on the shoulder and is like, "Hey, you're going to go next." And he was like another actor. And he had like this cop uniform on. So I was like, "Oh, he's auditioning for like a cop." And I'll be honest with you, man, I was in a certain state of mind. I was like, I'm gonna do this, and it kind of bugged me. But then like I feel like God told me, it was like, no, you just go in there, just throw off what he said, and just walk in there, go next. Yeah. And so I go in, so she just says next, and I go in since he demanded that I go next. And I go in there with my backpack because it was a scene in school. And I was like, it'd be nice to have it and wear it. I didn't think she'd mind, but she was like, take off the backpack. You don't need it. I don't like when people use props. And I was like, okay, I understand. She was like,
some of them like it, some of them don't. That's how it is.
Yeah, no. And she was like, I hate it so much when people wear costumes too. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, what's the worst is when people bring food in to eat. And I was like, people do that? And she was like, yeah, people bring in food to eat, like for auditions, whether it's written in or not. I was like, oh, that's crazy. I tape it. It goes extremely well. I only did actually one take. And she was like, oh, that's great. Let's move on. And so as I'm leaving, the actor in the cop uniform, would tap me on the shoulder. He was about to go in next. And he had this big tuna sandwich wrapped in and there was this moment where I was gonna say, "Hey, buddy, you may not bring it in," but I just kind of patted on the back and I said, "Break a leg, buddy." That's kind of my payback for him ruining my whole
your whole mojo. It kind of messed your whole trance you was in. You're like, okay, I got you. And he got a cop uniform, and he got a uniform on, so he was done.
Yeah. I don't know if he booked it or not. I didn't.
I'm sure
never
he did.
saw him.
I'm pretty sure he
did. Maybe he's a good actor. I don't know. He just kind of bugged me. But and that's kind of an unwritten rule in audition is you don't tell any other actor go in and do that. So that's why I was bugged by it.
Well, it's like you don't call them in. Most of the time they always call you in, like, "Hey, you up next," or whatever. That only
yeah. So I don't know, but it was just an unusual day. But anyways, I got a call back for it, and then I did the same scene in front of the producers and the series creator Peter Moffat, and great guy, by the way. And then I booked it. I found out I booked it, and I remember actually my agent called me and said I booked 12 Mighty Orphans that morning. And then when I was eating dinner that night, I got a call from them saying that I booked Your Honor. So I was overwhelmed.
Oh, but that was a heck of a celebration right there.
Yeah. I burst out crying. Honestly, I was like just so overwhelmed with God blessing me. And I remember calling my mom right after that, my dad, saying, I booked that, because they would ask me every day, "Have you heard from the Bryan Cranston Project? Have you heard from the Bryan?" They're big fans of him too. But and then I'm in 3 episodes, and watching it back was really cool to see what they left and what they took out. But I thought everyone you mentioned, like I said before, did an outstanding job, and being a part of that show was really cool. I never worked. I mean, I'd done some TV shows before, but nothing as big as that, as working with huge actors and names like that. And Bryan Cranston, meeting and working with him, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was starstruck the whole time. I was like, man, that's Heisenberg. That's that's Bryan Cranston. I remember eating lunch with him and some other actors one day, and I just was like, I don't know if I can eat just because like Bryan Cranston's right there and I'm like freaking out. And then over time, you know, that feeling goes away and they're just another person.
Yeah.
But it took a while for that to rub off on me just because like I was like, man, like Bryan Cranston, like that's one of my favorite actors. And so
Yes.
yeah, it was a surreal moment. I'm very blessed to have been part of that show.
Look, I understand, man. It's like I said, it's definitely a heck of a show. But I understand you talking about that feeling, that starstruck feeling. You know,
Yeah.
we kind of talked about it. I think I spoke to you yesterday or the day before yesterday, of the movie of my quote unquote outbreak role.
Yeah.
Major film would be Castle Fall with Dolph Lundgren. You
I'm
know,
so excited to see you in that, man.
dude, I'm so excited. But I was talking about, hey, with Bryan Cranston, you was like, starting kind of starstruck. I'm starstruck. I'm like, look, hold on, this is a guy from the Rocky movie, the biggest franchise, you know, of all action boxing films ever. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I'm actually next to this guy. That's my first major, and it's him. You know what I'm saying? So eat lunch with him. You know what I'm saying? He kind of did that for a little while. He just scrolled through there because really, because we did it in the heart of COVID. You know, this is November. We was
Yeah.
filming this part, so it was everything was spaced out and everything. He kind of trying to make sure you stay safe and stay smart. But I remember that my scene coming up with him. You know, he was like, "Hey, let's go and sit down and go over our lines real quick." And I'm like, my hand starts sweating. I start feeling
Yeah.
shaking.
Yeah.
I gotta calm myself down. And, you know, they putting my makeup on and doing his at the same time. We reading lines like it's nothing. And I'm like, he's like, "Hey, you ready? You ready?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready." And you know, so you had to shake those bugs out, man. But like I said,
Yeah.
it's a real moment, man, because you don't even think that you would ever meet these guys. And you
Yeah.
look at it's a chance because you always think, hey, my career, I'm not doing it just to be doing. I'm doing this thing to be on the big screen with these guys. But when it actually hits you, it's like, wow, this really happened, almost just like that. It feels like so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a wonderful feeling, man, and it's one of those feelings that you don't want to ever lose it. You want to always be able to. It's almost like, hey, I got to get my next film. I got to get it. I got to go. And you know, for me, we will set the premiere May the 18th nationwide of this year. And I told you it changed. Look on social media, or better yet, internet and everything, and boom, now it's 2022. It's woo! I'll be honest, it's a hit. It was a hit. It was definitely a
Yeah.
hit because I'm like, yo, this is gonna be the chance, man. This is gonna make everything start snowballing, yada yada yada. But nevertheless, I was saying that story, just talk about relating to you and how that feeling is so mutual of how, getting that big
Yeah.
opportunity to be against somebody who you look up to, in the industry. So, but I want to talk about this guy, man, Adam, bro. Like Hunter do Hunt. I think you had him on your podcast. If I'm not
Yes, it did. Yeah, that's one of my favorite episodes I've done. He's
great
such
guy.
a
Look,
nice guy.
great guy, man. Great guy, man. And his film though, he played the heck out of. Because I can't. I'm like, you can't be this naive. You're stupid. What are you doing? Like, me and my wife watching. We're like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you can't say it. You can't do this. And but that shows. Then to see him, on his show, of course, even as me, I'm still get wrapped up as a fan because I'm like, I'm watching it. I'm seeing you. I'm watching you to see, how you move and just seeing everything. And then, of course, you get wrapped up in the whole plot of everything. And he did a phenomenal job, man, as a young actor. How did you guys also perform on another? Was it 12 Minded Orphans as well that he was on or something that you guys?
Oh, you know what's
Or that
funny
was the
about
first one you
that?
guys connected on? Was to your honor?
No, so so I got there my very first shooting day. I believe I appeared first in episode 2, and they've been
Yes.
shooting for a month or two. And I got there. I actually, as soon as I finished, wrapped on 12 Mighty Orphans. Everyone else was going to a wrap party. This was the last day on set, and I actually had to leave because I had to be at I think 5 a.m. for my fitting, and so we wrapped at like 8 o'clock.
Oh,
And I didn't
wow.
have time to go party. I had to go straight to my hotel to New Orleans. And then I get up, go do a fitting, and then I get to set and I meet Hunter. Actually, I met Hunter at a table read months prior, but I saw him again. And I was visibly tired and exhausted. And he was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And it's like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "I just wrapped on this film, 12 Mighty Orphans." And he's like, "Oh, I actually auditioned for that." So we actually
Crazy.
talked about it. So he wasn't in it, but he auditioned for it. And so it was fun to talk to him and tell him how it went. But he's a phenomenal actor. Working with him, was a lot of fun just because he takes it very seriously, but at the same time, he likes to have a lot of fun and just be chill. And yeah, and for the viewers watching, you should definitely go check out that podcast episode if you want to learn more about him. And I feel like that's a pretty great episode that I churned out there. All thanks to him.
Definitely.
And working with everyone else like Sophie and I'm sorry, Sophia, and I got to meet Margot Martindale, which was really cool. We didn't have any scenes together, but I got to meet her, and she is like this great like character actress that's been working a long time, and it was really cool to meet her. But yeah, Hunter is a fantastic actor in that scene in episode. It was episode 4. Yeah, I know that's bad. I should know this. Episode 4 where he's start pushing me up against the lockers.
Yeah, yes.
Actually, he was supposed to punch me in the face in that scene several times. And I remember the stunt coordinator, him and the stunt coordinator, because me and him were rehearsing, and I was like, honestly, like, I don't think a best friend would like hit someone in the face if they're best friends with them. So when we told that to the stunt coordinator and he agreed, and we actually convinced the director for it just to be pushed. And honestly, I'm really happy because, even when you're practicing, and sometimes you actually get punched in the face, which I have been. I don't know if you've done that. But still, getting my back pushed up against that locker, we did like 30 takes of that. I actually got home to the hotel, took off my shirt, and looked in the mirror, and there was just like black, purple bruises all over my back.
Yeah. Look, I love it.
It came across well in the TV show, I thought, though.
Oh yeah. It most definitely
because it was real. I was really taking a beating.
Yeah, very convincing. And I can attest to that, man. Like in the Castle Falls, if everybody know anything that Dolph Lundgren plays in, it's gonna be fighting scenes.
Yeah.
He got a scene where he takes me, boom, slam me on against the table, face down. Then I got another scene where there's a major fight scene I got going on as well, where I'm talking about we filmed it for at least an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's slamming me. I'm getting hit with a wrench. My back getting slammed up against the machine and stuff.
Nice.
And these are real materials, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is real deal. These ain't fake tables and stuff. Stuff is real. So at the end of the day, I came back to my hotel. We wrapped and everything. I took my shirt off, and I'm laying on. I'm like, ow, what the?
Yeah.
I got a bruise. God, I got bruise
Yeah.
here.
And he comes out of the closet and is like, we're not done.
Yes.
You across the hotel room.
Yes, man. So they try to give us pads and stuff, protection, but some things you just gonna get hit on, you know what I'm saying? And plus,
yeah. I actually got cut. I can't remember. I got cut across like my thumb or something, and they were all freaking out because instantly when they see, they're like, they're just gonna sue us.
Yeah.
Just like cut it up against the locker, and that was like as another damage to me, but I was fine.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, see, but we love the process. I'm like, I don't even care about that. I love to look. I play ball. University of Alabama. I promise you, I'd have been hit a lot harder and done hit a lot harder than this.
Yeah, because you played for Alabama, man. Absolutely.
Like I'm straight. But so let's talk about real quick, you guys, again, one more time. This is E36 Unfiltered Podcast. I am your host, E. Gray. We have the actor, 12 Mighty O, for your honor, actor Sampley Barinaga here in the building. Check us out. Stay with us, guys. Shameless plug. Yeah, it is. But keep it going. So you mentioned you are getting married on June the sometime when?
I'm married. Yeah, I get married to my beautiful fiance, Erin Evans, June 11th.
Okay, June 11th. That is what's up, man. Let's talk about how she came into your life, because it's crazy. You read your biography. I'm like, I don't know, this is the same lady. I doubt it is. She's not your high school sweetheart, is she?
She is. No, yeah. We've been dating for 5 years.
Okay, so this is the one that you was known for doing pranks and stuff at school play and stuff like that. And your biggest prank, you said, is as you are fake proposing to your girlfriend.
My IMDb? I need to take that off. I put that on there when I first got IMDb, which was probably 5 years ago. Yeah.
That was the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, during our graduation, I did I come from a homeschool, so there are only like 30 kids graduating. Usually in a public school, it's like 100.
Okay.
So only like 30 of us were graduating. So what they do is they allow each one of us, if we want, to go up in front of everybody and do like a talent. So some people play piano, some people go up there and sing. Most do that, and I was like, I want to do some stand up because I'd done it before, but it'd been years, and it's kind of like, I mean, I'm a huge fan of stand up comedy, and I went up there and I closed with that. That was my last joke, but she knew about it.
Okay,
And
okay,
it was
okay.
hilarious because I actually have a DVD of it because they recorded the whole graduation. But you hear some oh no to some oh, and then I think I played it off. I like went down on my knee and I was like oh, and everyone like because I think my setup to it was like oh my beautiful or Aaron's my beautiful girlfriend. I've been dating her for a couple months now, and I wanted to ask you a question. And I get down on my knee and allow everyone to react to that, whether they're thinking it's the worst thing they've ever seen in their life to the most amazing, and then I would go, oh sorry, I had a piece of gum on my shoe, you want to go hang out after this? That was like, yeah, it was a dumb joke, but everyone after like was patting me on the back being like, yeah, I met her, I don't know if her parents appreciated it, but I think that in the moment, I think now they do though. I think they think I'm all right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Now you okay, you good, you good. That time, like, really? How could you? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think my parents may not have appreciated it in the moment, but I think they did too.
I got you, man. I got you. So let's talk about some kind of like a little tribute, so to speak. I guess kind of a little tribute for you.
Cool.
Who is your favorite top 2 actors of all time?
I think I also have that on my IMDb, but that's an ever-changing thing. I don't think you can say there's the greatest actor of all time because it's so subjective. But I think as of right now, I think I would go with my 2 favorite actors. I would probably say Christian Bale and Ryan Gosling, just because I'm a big fan of the roles that they've taken and how kind of selective they are. And I both really like to work with each of them someday. But that's an ever-changing list. But I think those 2 might stay in the top 2 for a very long time.
Okay, Ryan Gosling. Every time I think of Ryan Gosling, I think of why I go to my mind with Denzel Washington. It was
Remember the Titans, yeah. He's a liability at cornerback.
Yeah, yeah. Remember the Titans. And also his musicals. He was playing in the musicals.
That's kind of the joke in the.
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, La La Land. Yeah, I got a poster up here of La La Land. Yeah, he's an amazing actor. I love his. If you really dig deep in the films that he's done, I think is one of the most diverse, just full of strength and power, whether it be with dialogue or with pure silence. I think he's one of our finest actors today.
Okay. I'm a Will Smith guy, but yeah.
I love Will Smith too, dude. I grew up on reruns of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Look who he say he ain't stand watching no movie. He's like every time I see one of my sitcom of Fresh Prince, I just cringe like, oh my god, like because I guess he see himself. I didn't evolve so much into a better actor. For us, we like yo, that's you was so organic, it was so classic at that time. It was just
he's hilarious, and then also Pursuit of Happiness and Ali and a lot more. I Am Legend. Yeah,
I love I Am Legend. Yeah, that's my dream. That is my dream, like plot to play in a role like that.
Oh, like an apocalypse.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, I bet he got lonely on set though, because he really had like no one else to act across. Well, he had that dog, I guess, but
it was really just him. Like that to me, that tells you really a power when you can, like a Tom Hanks doing Castaway. Like you hold these whole entire set in the movie, you have to hold and captivate the entire audience for an hour and a half, pretty much by yourself.
Yeah, by yourself. Yeah,
that's I mean, come on, but that's a whole other level of
it really
acting and things of that nature. Now, I want to talk about with you is some of the ways that come to some of the things that we deal with as actors, man. Because it's called unfiltered. So we talk about the highlights. You got them 12 Mighty Orphans. Same time you was wrapping up you right from the Toy Money Orphans, you was going right into Your Honor, right? Or was the other way?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Let's go right to Your Honor, and so there, people understand there are gaps where you're auditioning, you're auditioning, and it's so crazy. I remember I was in Knoxville, Tennessee, um, on the campus. My wife was doing something. I had some time off of work, so I went to be with her and everything, just enjoying it, getting away. And I remember calling Misty. I don't know what was going on. We were talking about some film that I think I had was auditioning for or had booked whatever. And she was saying, "Yeah, Sampley's in actually in Knoxville, right? I mean, he's in Texas right now, filming this
yeah,
movie or whatever." And it was like, because it was in 2019. Yeah, this in 2019 because before the pandemic. So like, yeah, and I remember talking. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh man. She told me. She's like, I think it's like Orphans or 12 something. She didn't know the exact name of it.
oh
And
yeah,
she's like, I can't say too much about it, but I'm like, oh, snap, that's what's up. It was always encouraging to hear that. You know,
yeah, man.
and they don't know how much it is as an actor to have other like-minded people that's in the industry just like you, that's maybe right now they probably working, you may not be working, or they're coming out of the film and you're going into a film, or you're in between jobs or whatever. Explain a little bit of how that process, how you as yourself personally deal with those moments when you are not booking, or when you are not getting as many auditions as you would like, and how you kind of keep your head above water, got to keep plucking, because a lot of people don't understand that aspect of it, that is not always a pretty side of being an actor.
No, that's a great question, and I'm glad that you asked it because to kind of plug that pilot I'm working on, that I've written and I'll be directing next month, and shooting also with a lot of local talent here in Huntsville.
Okay.
This past year, because of COVID, yeah, like auditions were like buried treasure almost compared to 2019 when I was auditioning for like 10 things a week. It's
Yeah.
now, 2 things a month, maybe because of COVID, because everything going on. Um, but COVID also gave me a lot of time to obviously like create a podcast and spend time with my amazing fiance, my incredible family who supported me since day one. And also during that period of time, I also wrote a feature film, which I'm still working on, and I learned how to write properly, which is exciting. But
Okay.
I kind of got to this point where I'm like, man, a lot of the stuff I do audition for now, because a lot of because Your Honor and then like 12 My Orphans obviously still hasn't come out, so a lot of people really can't see what I can do yet.
Yes.
Um, so I'm like, man, I'm really getting sick and tired of auditioning for things I'm really not a big fan of. A lot I really like, and there's some that you're just like, I'll do it, but it's not amazing. um, um, and I just kind of wrote this pilot because it's kind of about what it's like when an actor isn't working. It's based on my true life experience, but it's a comedy. It's very similar to Arrested Development or one of my favorite TV series, Extras, which Ricky Gervais wrote back in I think 2005 and ran for a couple seasons.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's one of those things when you're not working, it can bum you out, but at the same time, you just kind of have to keep going because the
Yes.
ones who just, give up, I mean, they'll, they
What
give
else?
up, that's it
Done.
for them. And with me, there's never been a moment in my life where I've never wanted to be an actor, or be a writer or be a director. I just love film so much, and I feel like that's what God put me on this earth to do. So it's like one of those things where, like, yeah, of course I am human. Sometimes I can get bummed out,
Yes.
but a lot of the times I can bounce back pretty fast and be like, oh, well, like you have this coming out, or why don't you, instead of whining, why don't you write something for yourself? Which I finally did, and we're shooting next month. And I'm about to start a Kickstarter campaign, so I don't know when this episode will release. So it could still be going on. So feel
Yes.
free to go donate money. We're trying to reach a budget of 12,000. After this, I'm going to launch it actually as we're
Okay.
speaking. But yeah, it's one of those things where you just kind of got to keep your head up. One of my favorite quotes from the author Jack London, who wrote Call of the Wild and several other books. One of my favorite quotes by him is you can't wait for inspiration. You have to go after it with a club. And you kind of just have to, if you get bummed out, you just got to get back up. Because if you stay down, someone else is going to use you as a step. They're going to step right on your head and push themselves up.
Yes.
So, yeah. That's
I
how
love
I
it.
feel about that.
I love it. I love it, man. And I'll tell you my personal experience, because again, I've been doing this for a few years now myself, and it's what is encouraging is for me is to see others that like yourself, like a Todd Baker, like Harrison Stone, who who got the best actor name ever. You know what I'm saying? Like Harrison
Yeah, I
Stone,
know, right?
like what the heck, you know? But anyway, Indiana Jones type of guy. But seeing that is encouraging. You know, I choose to use that as an encouragement and motivation, and rather than using it as a way like, man, they got it, I must don't, you know, or
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
that, you know, because I see these different auditions I'm getting and different opportunities I'm getting that's coming to the fold, and it's like, oh man, and then I get a chance to shoot a film like that, like I did with Castle Fall with Dolph Lundgren. It's like, oh my goodness, yo, this is,
Yeah.
you know, this will give you the little extra man. But one thing I would say, man, I think about acting that has done for me, as being a former player at University of Alabama, was playing football and just, you know, going through many years of even after that playing ball, after college, you didn't get to really tap into you were selective with your emotions or how you express yourself. You know, you're in the moment, you're wired, you're locked in, but being able to show the weakness, the weak side of you, the vulnerable side of you is something that was not um, really encouraged too much, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and now a good thing about it, you got a chance to move on to the next play. Like, hey, you get done. No matter if you have a great play, you have a bad play, get your butt, move on. You know that you play soccer as well. You got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
But for that helped me out a lot with the audition process, because sometimes soon I get it, audition for it, next day it's gone. I'm already moved out of the way on it. If I see a female where, hey, I got to moved on to the next step, that's great. If I didn't, whatever, I'm looking for the next thing. But I say that to say it didn't also allow you to process your emotion. Being in acting, get into the acting, you know, what Bills have us do these things face to face, or you have to really, you know, indulge yourself into the character. It allowed me and helped me to be more intact with how I'm feeling, my emotions, raw, true, unfiltered emotions, uh, throughout that process. And you know, and so even some things that happen all along, I thank God for my wife. I'll openly talk to her. Hey, I need to talk, or just kind of expressing how it's making me feel, how this process is going, how I'm feeling about this process, how I feel like it may not be moving fast enough, or man, this
Yeah.
is a big moment. This is what this can bring, you know, kind of things of that nature, man. And
Yeah.
for me, I appreciate it more than ever, because we're in a time and a day where we're talking about mental health is finally becoming something that is not taboo. And especially in my culture, as an African American culture, that's looked as being taboo for years. Like, you don't talk about, you get over it, you keep on moving. We've been getting over things for years. Get over it, keep it moving. Or just in
Yeah.
general, or if you go coming from a real spiritual background, you don't go no counseling. You better get on your knees and pray. You know, I'm a PK kid, so that's what it's all about. You know, but anyway, I enjoy the other aspects of acting outside of just booking. It's about, you know, really finding the humane aspect of a character. You know, a character that you probably normally wouldn't play, or you like, he's a butthole, or he's a, you know, whatever douche, whatever you want to call it. But you can always have to look a little deeper into this character to see, can you bring the humanity out of this character? Can you
Yeah. Yeah.
character? You know what I'm saying? All the different layers, man, different layers. What I love about it, and that's the kind of stuff I want to always also talk about when I bring on an actor, any actor onto the stage, whether it's a theater, whether it's in a film, or both, television, whatever, because that part is also very, very crucial for them to understand, or to be able to get to that level, to be, uh, you know, start getting these type of bookings on the extra level. You have to be able to and be willing to uh, um, voluntarily tap into those emotions.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
man. Go
and
ahead.
I feel like going back to 12 My Orphans, it's a very emotional film. Uh, a lot of tears are shed on camera, and I'm sure there will be a lot of tears shed watching it on the big screen for a lot of people. It's a really great movie, and I feel like a lot of people should be they're happy. There's some happy tears and there's some sad tears.
Okay.
But
Yes.
I'm really excited for people to see it finally on the big screen.
All right. Now, last but not least, man, let's talk about your real quick. Your acting school that you have started, Divine Legacy Conservatory, man. Let's talk about this. So not only do you have the gift and the talent, but you also now is teaching and training others with another fellow actor that was in our Hollywood Huntsville, Princeton Drake. So let's talk about how that came together, man, and what's that about? Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, perfect. Can hear you
Okay,
now.
sorry
Yes.
about that. You'll have to edit that out. My DSLR died. So it's on my webcam now.
All right, all right.
You can still hear me fine now.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly. You're fine. You're good.
Cool. Oh yeah, you asked how the class is going. Yeah, we have some really talented, some really, really awesome people that are taking our classes right now. I really feel the need to share what I've learned with other people, and as does Princeton. Princeton's an amazing actor and an amazing teacher, and we've come together to kind of form this brotherhood and be able to share film and television acting for people who have always sought that dream but never really knew how to make it actually happen. And so it's going really great. If people want to check us out, go www.divinelegacyconservatory.com. Check out our classes on there, or just find us on Facebook, Divine Legacy Conservatory. And we teach pretty much any age group, really. Film and TV. We got some improv. We'll have some workshops going this month. I'm really excited about.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had a blast teaching people about the arts.
Yes, I got you. So, how many days you guys operating? What's your days? You got certain days you guys are operating, and what the variety of the different classes that you guys are teaching?
Yeah, our days are kind of changing this summer, but I believe, at least for me, Prince, because I'm this summer's kind of crazy one for me. But Princeton's teaching right now an adult acting class on Thursday nights.
Okay.
And then also, I think another class on Tuesday. But we also have some exciting stuff coming from my end, workshops and so a lot of fun stuff like that. So,
okay. So
yeah.
Do you guys offer online, like Zoom, and in person and online classes as well?
We've been doing in person recently with masks on, and then we have everyone 6 feet apart as they should be. I'm trying to think if we've done any online classes. I don't think we have, just because a lot of people actually want to come in and do it, because you can't really, do acting classes online. It just doesn't work that way for both me and Princeton. I mean, you can. It's just not the same thing as doing it in person.
Okay, I got you. Well, man, I love it, man. I love what you got going on, what you're doing.
Thank you.
And so, have you got a title for the film that you're producing right now?
Yeah, it's a pilot. It's a TV show idea I've had for a while. It's called An Actor Prepares, and it's about my character kind of going through his daily routine of being an actor in Huntsville, Alabama. And there's some fictional characters in it, and then there's some characters based on my family or other actors I've met in this industry.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's going to be really funny and great. We start shooting next month, and we had a table read with the cast last week or the week before, and everyone just seems really happy to be working on it. And it's the first thing I've directed a couple shorts, but this will be the biggest thing I've ever directed with like real equipment and real crew members and stuff. And it's always been a dream of mine to do that, and I'm really excited for people to get to see it after we're done, maybe sometime later this year or next year.
Okay, great. So are you guys gonna potentially release the pilot before you get the full funding that you're looking for, or you trying to get the funding first and then release it, or it just kind of depends?
Yeah, we're gonna get the funding for it and then shoot it next month, and then I'm gonna shop it around to some people I know, and maybe submit it to some festivals or what have you, and then release it to the public, I guess. I don't know about that. It may be under wraps for a while, but I'd like to show people.
Yeah. I can always. Y'all always want to show your work and share the work and everything.
Yeah,
absolutely. There's a process to it, man. And I'm looking to eventually get into some type of pilot or something. I mean, you got some talent over here. I'm just saying, 36, man. I don't even.
Dude, yeah.
Dude,
I try to like literally write a role for everyone in town, but it comes to one where you're like, you can't really do that. But I'd love to work with you if you get to move forward. There's something out there in my mind for you on this project, without a doubt. But I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm on your show. I like Eric. You're a great actor. I've seen you work, so
I appreciate that. I'm gonna take that to heart, man. But yeah, no, everything you always got. No, I understand the format. You got to make sure it stays within the line and what you're trying to create. You know, because after you that, then the storyline would be like, what are we talking about here? So
exactly,
it's about the project, man, and keeping close to it. But anyway, man, that's gonna wrap up pretty much our interview. Do you have any other thing you want to talk about real quick? Announcements coming up.
Go see 12 Mighty Orphans June 18th everywhere. Go check out my podcast, Once Upon a Time in Huntsville. I'll have to get you on there, Eric. And go follow me on Instagram, Ginger Barinaga or HSB Podcast for podcast stuff. And I don't really use my Twitter, but I'm on there as Sampley Barinaga, I think. So I don't really use it.
Yeah,
Twitter's a scary place.
I kind of just share it from whatever I use on Instagram. I share it to my Twitter page that way.
Yeah,
I got to get on that whole social media deal. It's just I'm more focused on just the work, versus social media, but that is a part of it as well. But anyway, man, I could not thank you enough for coming on this show. To finally get you a chance to sit down and get you on this podcast. We've been missing each other for almost a year now, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think it's no better time than the present, man. So I appreciate you so much. You guys, my man, actor, Sampley Barinaga, 12 Mighty Orphans, June the 18th. Also, go back to Showtime and check out Your Honor. It is a great series, guys. Great series. Go check it out. He got many more things coming down the line. And as we sign out, I am your host, E. Gray from the E36 100 Podcast, guys. You check it out. You have a wonderful day. I thank you so much.
E36 Unfiltered, aka the Unfiltered Room with Mr. E. Gray. Introducing all the latest names and the latest news. Hottest take, he the new face, yeah, the new sound, but keep it old school and raw interviews from local athletes, even digging out for entertainment too.